Welcome back to Euro Football Daily, where today we're looking at 10 clubs who have started to overhaul their transfer strategy. Let's go. 10. Bayern Munich. Even a team as powerful as Bayern Munich cannot always play fast and loose with their finances. In 2021, they lost €155 million in revenue due to the pandemic, and while sensible management meant they absorbed that shock, it has left them unable to compete for the very top players. Just take Erling Haaland. Bayern executive Oliver Kahn admitted they wanted the Norwegian, but that the financial dimensions were beyond their imagination. Now the Rekordmeister's whole transfer strategy looks set to change. Typically, Bayern have bought one big star every summer, signing Dayot Upamecano, Leroy Sané and Lucas Hernandez for over €180 million combined over the last few years. They also rarely sell unless necessary. However, German publication Kicker believes that as of 2022, the Bavarians will target younger players with the potential to be sold on for profit. Of course, the recent arrival of a 30-year-old Sadio Mane throws this argument into doubt, but at €32 million, the Senegalese forward was too good to ignore. The addition of Ryan Gravenberch is instead greater evidence of Bayern's new approach. Ajax negotiated a 7.5% sell-on clause into the deal, suggesting the teenager could one day move on. Only time will tell if Bayern's change of direction pays off. 9. Manchester United. We know what you are thinking. What is possibly different about Manchester United's transfer policy? As while their rivals are busy signing stars, United appear bogged down in their pursuit of Frenkie de Jong. Nothing new here then. But the real change at Old Trafford is how they plan to use the loan system. Last season, 17 players left the club on loan, and some worked very well. Take James Garner at Nottingham Forest or Dylan Levitt at Dundee United. But there were some notable failures. Ethan Laird's development was disrupted after swapping Swansea for Bournemouth mid-season, while Amad Diallo limped away with merely 161 minutes of league action at Rangers. To avoid a loan going wrong, United have a new plan. At least that's according to journalist Alan Nixon, who claims the Red Devils will now let their young players go on a 3-week trial at their prospective loan clubs before committing, letting them get a feel for their new surroundings. This is significant, as under Erik ten Hag, youth could play a more significant role. The teenage duo Alejandro Garnacho and Hannibal Mejbri have reportedly impressed the Dutchman so far. More productive loans could bring their moment in the theatre of dreams closer to reality. 8. LAFC. Los Angeles FC have only featured in Major League Soccer for 4 seasons but have made quite an impression, winning the whole thing in their second campaign and leading the Western Conference at the time of writing. What is impressive about LAFC's rapid ascent is that they have avoided the influx of expensive aging players that has blighted the MLS's reputation. Prior to now, their most high-profile addition was Carlos Vela, aged 28 when he arrived from Real Sociedad. Instead, they have targeted young, less heralded players, often from South America, to be developed. Just take Diego Rossi, signed from Peñarol in Uruguay before being sold to Fenerbahce. This summer, however, the Californians are changing course and buying big names to complement their growing brand. First, Giorgio Chiellini was signed from Juventus, arriving in America at the ripe old age of 37. Not a typical LAFC player, but a no-brainer according to the club's general manager John Thorrington. And next up is Gareth Bale. It's no secret that the 5-time Champions League winner is using the club to keep fit for the World Cup, though there are hopes the 32-year-old Welshman will stay beyond his 1-year deal. If not, who knows who might arrive to take Bale's place. 7. Everton. Everyone knows about Everton's failures in the transfer market. £500 million spent since 2016 and yet nothing to show for it. It took victory over Crystal Palace in their penultimate game last term just to secure Premier League survival. Last year, the Toffees were forced to tighten the purse strings, returning a positive net spend for the first time since 2013-14. And this summer appears to be more of the same. Cenk Tosun, Johnjo Kenny, Fabian Delph and Gylfi Sigurdsson have all gone, slashing the wage bill by £300,000 a week, while Donny van der Beek's return to Manchester United will save them another £100,000. This will boost their accounts, but according to multiple reports, it will take a big sale to really provide funds for any major transfer activity. A recent article in the Liverpool Echo claimed that Everton will turn their attention to developing youth, rather than continue to pursue established stars, and links with Hull City's keen Lewis Potter fits that narrative. The 21-year-old scored 12 in the Championship last term to earn a call-up to England's under-21s, throwing himself onto the Premier League radar. It's a positive sign, but this is Everton we're talking about, so anything could still happen. 6. Crystal Palace. Rewind to 2018 and Crystal Palace had the 9th biggest wage bill in the Premier League. Monstrous six-figure contracts were handed to Mamadou Sakho and Max Meyer, while the veteran duo of Scott Dan and Gary Cahill both took home close to £80,000 a week. The spending eventually had to stop, meaning the club turned a net profit of €34 million in Roy Hodgson's final 3 years in charge. Dougie Freedman arrived as sporting director in 2017 with a mandate to slowly freshen up the squad. Sakho, Cahill and Dan were all gradually released, along with big earners in Andros Townsend and Patrick Van Arnholt, and they were replaced with a youthful revolution that is turning heads back towards Selhurst Park. It started with the arrival of Eberechi Eze from QPR in 2020, followed by an £80 million shopping spree on Mark Gehi, Joachim Andersen and Michael Elise the next summer. In 2 years, Palace went from having the oldest squad in the top flight to the 11th oldest, and have just purchased teenage sensation Malcolm Ebiowei from Derby County. Freedman deserves a huge amount of credit for breathing life back into Palace and making them a neutral's favourite. 5. Roma. It was big news back in April 2017 when it was announced that Roma had spent €5 million to buy Monchi out of his Sevilla contract. The Spanish sporting director was seen as the key to closing the gap on Juventus after making Sevilla a European force while turning a €200 million profit in the market. However, his time with the Giallorossi fell flat. In 2 seasons in Rome, he spent over €250 million on 24 players, yet most of them proved disastrous. Javier Pastore, Patrick Schick and Steven Nzonzi all flopped, with Rick Karsdorp, Lorenzo Pellegrini and Nicolo Zaniolo the only 3 still playing their part at the Stadio Olimpico. Now Jose Mourinho is the man in charge when it comes to signings, alongside the club's general manager Thiago Pinto, the former Chelsea boss is moulding Roma firmly in his image. Nemanja Matic and €40 million star Tammy Abraham both share experience of working under Mourinho, while Sergio Oliveira and Rui Patricio add more Portuguese bite to the squad. Roma and their president Dan Friedkin appear to be giving him the players he wants. This strategy has so far delivered them the Europa Conference League, and Roma fans will be hoping it's the start of something spectacular. 4. Galatasaray. For years, Galatasaray have been sleepwalking towards disaster. Saddled with debts totaling €410 million as recently as 2021, the Turkish giants have wasted millions on ageing stars commanding untenable wages. Last season, the club's top earners were Ryan Babel and Sofian Feghouli, both over 32 and both pocketing over €67,000 a week. In fact, the 5 best players at Gala were all in their 30s. By February, the Istanbul outfit found themselves staring down the barrel of relegation, and although they survived, it is clear the club's hierarchy recognised the need for change. Last season, none of the 5 players Galatasaray actually spent money on were over 24, including Victor Nelson from FC Copenhagen, and efforts to rejuvenate the squad have continued this summer, with Babel, Feghouli and former Barcelona star Arda Turan all released. Their only major signing so far is 24-year-old Mustafa Mohamed, signed from Egyptian giant Zamalek after scoring 14 times while on loan at Gala. It's early days yet, and players like Arturo Vidal are still being linked with the club. But with any luck, their new strategy will drive Galatasaray towards a brighter, younger and more sustainable future. 3. Milan. In the last decade, AC Milan spent 8 long and painful seasons out of the Champions League. To drag them out of this hole, the club wasted millions on expensive flops such as Andre Silva and Lucas Paqueta. And with the squad failing, owner Lee Yong-won defaulted on the massive €415 million debt he owed Elliott's management group in 2018. This handed the Americans control of the club, and they immediately brought in the Milan legend Paolo Maldini as their new technical director. His task? To find much better value in the market. To do this, the Italian adopted a simple approach: try before you buy. Over the next few seasons, the likes of Ante Rebic, Fikayo Tomori, Simon Kjaer and Sandro Tonali were all signed on loan, then bought permanently the following summer. It gave the club confidence to spend their limited resources wisely and drastically improve the side. Tomori, Kjaer and Tonali would all play a huge part in the Rossoneri's recent Serie A triumph. Milan have signed players successfully without following this strategy, but Maldini's smart manoeuvres in the loan markets have undoubtedly helped put the club back on the map. 2. Tottenham Hotspur. Emboldened by their return to the Champions League, Tottenham Hotspur are busy signing stars to deliver Antonio Conte the instant success he craves. Just take Ivan Perisic. The versatile left winger is no project player at 33, but arrives boasting a wealth of success. His illustrious career has delivered league titles in 2 countries, a Champions League with Bayern Munich and a World Cup runners-up medal. The Croatian also has pedigree under Conte, featuring 42 times for the Italian during Inter Milan's Scudetto winning campaign. Elsewhere, Fraser Forster is a strong supplement to Hugo Lloris, however Yves Bissouma provides another level of excitement. Captured for a snip at £25 million, the Mali international has averaged a massive 5.2 2 tackles and interceptions per 90 over the past 2 seasons for Brighton, among the most in the Premier League. Next to Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Rodrigo Bentancur, Spurs now have some real steel in midfield. But the North Londoners are far from finished. Marching to Conte's tune, the club's managing director Fabio Paratici is hunting big names in defence and attack. A departure from their previous strategy that saw them capture undervalued young stars like Eriksen, Son and Dele Alli. But if all goes to plan, Conte could finally deliver Spurs the silverware they've been waiting for. 1. PSG. Dreams are one thing, reality is another. We don't want flashy bling bling anymore, it's the end of the glitter. Those are the words of PSG president Nasser Al-Khelaifi, addressing the new normal at the Parc des Princes. Since Les Parisiens fell under Qatari control, over €1.4 billion has been splashed on players alone. However, this investment still has not led to Champions League glory or created a true connection with the club's supporters. Just last season, Lionel Messi and Neymar were booed at the Parc des Princes, while an open letter from the collective Ultras Paris group called the squad nothing but a bunch of stars who barely compliment one another. Al-Khelaifi heard their calls, removing the unpopular sporting director Leonardo and replacing him with Luis Campos, the man credited with turning Monaco and Lille into French champions. The Portuguese advisor has admitted to being completely in love with signings up to €6 million, whose value will improve in the future. But this is not typical PSG, who operate at a completely different price point. One thing's for sure, it will be fascinating to see if Al-Khelaifi keeps to his word and gives Campos a chance to work his magic. So those were 10 clubs who have overhauled or are overhauling their transfer strategy. But which of these teams are you most interested to see develop in the next few years? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please leave us a like and subscribe to Euro Football Daily if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.